Hey, it's Wes.
And Shonda.
And welcome to DinkLife.
So today's video is going to be one in a series of videos, which may not interest a lot of you, but we are doing it just to sort of keep track of what we're doing and to sort of share with you all the things that we do when we're not traveling.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing right now is a kitchen reno. I guess I shouldn't even actually say renovation. We're remodeling. We're not doing like any demo and we're not destroying anything. We're keeping the layout the same. But we are redoing the floors, the counters, and the drawers and the cabinets are getting painted, and new hardware and all that other stuff. So
Yeah.
we kind of wanted to document it as we went along, A, to show you the process, and B, to show us how it goes as we go and how easy or hard it's going to be.
Yeah.
So we have already gotten all the contracts out of the way. We've parsed it out. We're having the floors and the countertops done by Home Depot, and then we are having the cabinets refaced and everything painted by a local company that's out of Cleveland. So, and they were recommended by a friend of ours who had their kitchen done by them as well.
Yep.
And piece parting that out actually got us the things that we wanted, slightly cheaper than going with a company who did all of the things.
Yeah.
Some of these companies that came out really were trying to gouge us.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Crazy prices.
We did our research for sure, and we met with quite a few different companies before we decided what to do. So the first thing that's happening is the floors. And the reason we're also documenting this is because in order to save a little bit of money, we have to do some of the work ourselves.
Yep.
So tonight is prep work. The floors are coming a week from today. They're being installed a week from today.
Yeah.
They're actually coming next Monday. They have to sit in the house and like breathe and all of that other stuff. And then they're going to be installed in one day. Next Wednesday. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that all goes very smoothly. So we are going from ceramic tile, which is on our floors right now, to like a vinyl wood like look plank.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're not doing any of that. The floor was the least expensive part of this whole thing. Overall, everything that we're doing is going to cost us about $20K. And honestly, our house is paid off, thank goodness. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't be able to do this right now.
Yeah.
But as you can see, we have the most 80s kitchen humanly known to man, and it has now become the bane of my existence. I hate it. I hate our kitchen.
Yeah, and it did mind me, but we're getting it done for Shonda here.
We're getting it done for me because almost everything else we've done I don't care about. So this is the thing I care about because I do spend quite a lot of time in the kitchen. Our countertops are crappy laminate right now.
Yeah, it's just Formica style.
Yeah,
ones with wood
crazy
edges.
80s laminate. And then we've got those. The doors are actually, I mean, the bones are good, right? It's a nice wood, and they are wood. They are wood doors, but they're that like 80s wood with the cutouts and it's just nasty. And I actually don't like the color either. I'm not a big fan of yellow. So I am trying to get this kitchen done into more of like a mid-century modern kind of way, but more modern and not too terribly niche-y, because when we do finally sell the house, I want somebody to buy it.
Yeah.
So we will see what the designer says when she comes about the paint, but I'm going to put a few touches in here that do make the kitchen my own or our own.
Yep.
So tonight we are prepping the ceiling. We're going to paint that and change out the light fixtures this week. We're going to rip off the baseboards to get the floor prepped, and then we're going to rip up the lips on the floor
thresholds.
into each room, and we have to clean out the bottom of the pantry to get all of that ready for the floor. So
and then we do have to move the fridge and stove too out.
Yeah, we got to do that. By I mean him.
But all that did I don't remember what it was, but it did save us a considerable amount of money doing that.
I think it was like $89 per appliance for them to move it for us. So I mean, we're only saving like, $180, $170, but it's $170 for drawer pulls and knobs and things that we need to buy to put back in here. So we're pretty much replacing almost everything except the bones of the cabinet, and we're not changing the layout, and our appliances are fine. We don't need to update those either. But we're going to take you through this process so that you can see how horrible or alternately how smoothly it all goes. So we'll let you know as we go.
So here is our current kitchen right now. You can see the cabinets and the floors here. And then, we got a couple stools. We are going to bump out this ledge a little bit here when we get the new countertops. And then, we're going to clean out all that stuff over there too and change that up. And then there's our fridge. We have a little pantry over here. But that is pretty much our kitchen as it is right now. Oh yeah, and another thing, we're gonna swap this out up here and get rid of the waves. But
and one other thing we are doing as well, because this looks dated no matter what we do with it.
Yeah.
We're gonna remove this cabinet off the wall because we really don't use it a lot for storage. It's not convenient for anything, and we're just gonna put open shelving over there.
Yep. Yeah, I think it will look good. So not that there's a ton wrong with the ceiling, but I'm gonna re-plaster some of these spots where like the tape popped up. And here's some cracks and spots over here that I'm gonna touch up before we paint the ceiling. So there we go, I cut that little piece out, and then over here, I cut that stuff out because it was kind of loose. And then I'll plaster back over it. So it's day 2 on working on this, and today I'm going to go back over what I plastered yesterday, sand it down, and put a second coat on. So that's what we're going to do today, and then if we get some time here, we're going to start ripping off the baseboards. And next up, we got to put one more coat of some mud on there just to fill in any of the gaps, and then it should be good to paint after I sand it one more time. Alright, well next up we're going to start removing the little plastic trim under there, right there we see. And then yeah, we got some over here all around underneath the cabinets. And then I have to take all this oak trim off to get ready. So we have finished patching the ceiling of the bad spots that were in it, and next up we're going to paint the ceiling here. We got some ceiling paint, we got some stuff down here on the floor right here, but we're going to get ready and paint over the ceiling so it's ready for the next step. So we finished up painting the ceiling here. We did a little sloppy job on it, but we're getting the walls painted too. At the moment we are working on installing these new light fixtures right here. I got one more over here. Okay, so it's the night before floor eve, and we have pretty much everything's pretty close to being ready to have the floor installed tomorrow. We went through and ripped off all that trim that was on the underneath the counters right there. All the trim's been ripped out on the bottom. I've been going through also, since I wanted to do it before the floors get installed, patch up a lot of the plaster problems on the walls, which you can see I dug into a few issues there and there. But yeah, here's what we got so far. We did move the appliances out, which we had to for that, so I didn't move them too far. They're just sitting over there in our dining room. And then, yeah, the fridge is moved out here. I still have a little bit of a slow leak on the ice cube maker. That's why I have a bucket there, but nothing that's an emergency. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. We also have all the vents installed and a few more pieces patched up there. And next up, I'm going to remove this cabinet off the wall because we're going to install shelving there. Oh, another thing I did want to mention is I did pop this exterior door off. It had a seal underneath, and I pulled that off just so you can see the clearance is pretty tight. Ugh, if I can get it to open here. Here you go. See, there's not much clearance there, so hopefully it will work with the floor installation. So here it is, we got it off. There was about, I think, 9 screws or something like that held it on the wall. But they're pretty easy in the back, holding to the studs. And then we found this neat surprise back here, this old wallpaper that's cut perfectly around it. So here we are, the morning of, before the floor gets installed. One last time. I did go back over and I mopped the floor so it's really clean. Don't know if it really needs that, but yeah, everything's removed now. I did end up removing this the pantry door back here, and then the side trim up the sides there. But at the moment, it's one last shot before we get a new floor in here. And then I'll start removing backsplash in the next video. So here is the skim coat they just applied to it, just to fill in the grout line so the floor sits level. He is gonna scrape off the excess off the top of the tiles when he comes back in, but he has to let this sit for about an hour to harden before he can start working on it. And here is the skim coat shot the other way through the kitchen. So yeah, once this is done, I'll be able to start installing floor. So here we go. Here's the new floor right here. I do have to put like the thresholds back in and all the trim on the baseboards, but at the moment we just got the floor in. I'm gonna start working on that, and hopefully the next week. Yeah, here's the. Even got it around the little fridge line right over there, and then back into our pantry right there. And then here is our little threshold outside right there. I did have to cut and modify some stuff here because since everything went up, I had to actually chop the bottom off of this metal door, and then I reinforced it with some wood in the bottom, and now we got the lip right here. But everything clears.
All right, everybody, so we're done with phase 1 of the kitchen reno or remodel or whatever you want to call it. It's not actually a remodel because we aren't changing anything around. It's more of a reno, I guess.
Yep.
So the floor is done. Home Depot came in and installed that actually yesterday. And honestly, he was here at about 8:15, 8:30.
Yeah.
Put down a skim coat, let that dry for an hour, and then he was out the door by a little after 1. So it did not take long at all.
He was quick at it.
Like, he was very quick and thorough and clean, and he did a lovely job. It's absolutely stunning. I love it. I think it already just like brightens up the kitchen and makes it look like 10 times bigger than it did before.
Yeah, for sure.
Just by putting in a lighter floor. Also, I mean, we have brighter lights too now, so we've installed light fixtures. The floor is in, and on Wednesday comes the counter, and that's going to be project 2, which we will do a whole nother video on how we're going to get prepared for that. So just remember, as always, whatever you decide to do, just get out there and do it.